بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praises due to Allah, and may peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. First of all, before I start this lecture, I would like to make the following introduction. And that is the first thing, why did I choose to talk about this topic? And that is the 7 letters, 7 Ahruf, 7 Ahruf, and the link with the 10 recitation, Al-Qira'atul Ashr. The reason I have chosen this topic, number one, it was a class that I do regularly with the brothers in Reading, and there are only about 6 people, which is a private class of Tajweed that started more than 2 years ago. And I have finished with my students the 3rd and the last level, in which I have taught them, and I taught them the usul. And that's why this is the last class after they finish the 3rd level, which they have requested from me to talk about this issue. And second reason is that to clear the misconception about this topic, especially in the late days and months. Some people have been talking about things that they have no knowledge of. And the third reason is actually to educate the people regarding this topic, because they need to be educated, and so many of them, they don't know. Even the ones who are maybe Qari and Hafil, but they don't know. So let's just go on in the reason number 1, and that is because it is the last class today, and this class is going to be in 2 parts. Part 1 this week, and part 2 will be inshallah either next week, next Arbi'a, or the following Arbi'a. If it's not the following Arbi'a, it's going to be the one after that in 2 weeks' time. Because the topic is long, I need to divide it into 2 parts. And because of also that I want to honor those students, I would like just to have a recitation to start with. And I've requested 3 students. One who is 12 years old, another one who is 14 years old, and the third one who is an adult, without mentioning his age. So I will start, inshallah, with requesting student Yaqub, who is 14 years old, and he's a Hafiz, to start to recite for me from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 183 to 184. Please switch on your video. I could see you here. Jazakallahu khairan.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
أحسنت. Jazakallahu khairan. Please everybody say Ma sha Allah, Tabarakallah. Allahumma barik. Okay, we go to Adil. Please put your video on and recite the following verse without the isti'adah, because the isti'adah has already been done. Fadlan.
شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون.
Jazakallahu khaira. We go to the MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. Allahumma anbitu nabatan hasana. The third one, go to our brother Ibrahim, one of the adult students. Please recite just the last verse, 186 from Surah Al-Baqarah.
وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ.
Ahsan, Jazakallahu khaira, Barakallahu feek. Now, this is the first reason, and the second reason, as we said, to clear all the misconception regarding the topic. And there's an introduction for that, and it's a very important introduction. And that is the doubts. They've never been prospering, and they never will start to spread amongst the people, except, according to what I believe, 4 reasons. Reason number 1 is the ignorance, and people not going to educate themselves. So the lack of knowledge, the ignorance. There's no perseverance amongst the people to learn the deen. If I was doing entertainment now at the moment, there will be thousands of people clicking. But when it's to do with قال الله قال رسوله, to recite the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll find very few people, unfortunately. And the ignorance is the reason for all misguidance, the shirk, the dalal, the misguidance, the polytheism, all of it started with ignorance. The first who've been worshipped after the period of Adam alayhi salam, which was monotheistic. Only the crime of the killing that took place, but there was no shirk. Then at the time of Nuh alayhi salam, there was people from the people of Nuh called Wad, wa Suwa', wa Yaghuth, wa Ya'uq, wa Nasr. According to Abdullah ibn Abbas, which is mentioned in a number of ahadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, but the narration I'm mentioning here in Muslim Imam Ahmad, where at the end of it, Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said that those people were worshipped, righteous people were worshipped, their statues were worshipped later on, when عندما نسخ العلم. نسخ العلم, that means the knowledge had disappeared. So this is the first reason. The second reason, the knowledge when it disappears is actually linked to the knowledgeable scholars. So the scholars are not there. And that's why you find people are doing all chaos. The one who killed 99 people, and he even killed 100, because he didn't find anybody to tell him that this is what you're doing is not correct. There's only one scholar in that the whole of the town. Allah's messenger, he said, إن الله لا ينتزع العلم انتزاعا ينتزعه من صدور الناس ولكنه يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء حتى إذا لم يبق عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا بغير علم فضلوا وأضلوا. Translation of which, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not remove the knowledge by removing it from the chest of the person. So suddenly, you've got memory of the Quran and the memory just suddenly disappeared. You've got fiqh, you've got a hadith, you've got tafsir, and suddenly, all the people wake up and there's nothing there. Yes, at the end of the time, there is. Where the Prophet ﷺ, he said, يَدْرُسُ الإسلام كَمَا يَدْرُسُ وَشِي الثَّوْبِ. The Islam will fade out just like the fading of the pattern on the clothes, until the people will not know salah, siyam, zakah, nothing. And then he says, وَلَا يُسْرَى عَلَى كِتَابِ اللَّهِ فِي لَيْلَةٍ فَلَا يَبْقَى مِنْهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ آيَةٍ. And in one night, the whole of the Quran will be taken away from all what you think of, whether it's the people, machines, it'll be erased. In one night, Quran will be removed. Only the kalima stays, La ilaha illallah. That's all. So that is something special. We're talking about the normal case, is that Allah will not remove the knowledge by removing it from the chest and the mind and the memory of the people, but He removes the knowledge by removing the scholars. How does He remove the scholars? By their death. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ said that towards the hour, more time we have, then there will be less scholars. As-salihu fas-salih. Righteous will go, knowledgeable will go. And the person who stays are Luka' ibn Luka'. The word Luka' ibn Luka' means the street guys, the people who are ragtag, worth nothing. And this will facilitate for the shaitan and the shayateen to make the people to take a compensation for that, to take an alternative. Instead of the scholars, they will take people who are ignorant, whom the Prophet ﷺ said, قال حتى إذا لم يبقي عالما, when Allah does not leave a scholar, اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. The people would start to take ru'us. Ru'us means head, and he's pointing to the head. Ru'us, either is a head into his community, a head is into his science, nothing to do with the knowledge, a head is into his social communication, is a head, and could be as well a head with a turban on top of it, which means nothing, an empty head. Not because it's a head, it's known. Ru'us, or a head because he appears now, we've got a head as well, YouTube heads and all social media's heads, because the people click on him and even pay money to see him, and he's not even a student of knowledge. Allah al-Musta'an. اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا. Empty heads. They take them as people to lead them. فسئلوا. They've been asked. Asked about what? About the earth, the heavens? They've asked, no. They were asked about the deen. قال فأفتوا بغير علم. They have given fatwa without knowledge. You find these days a person who's just graduate from the University of Medina. They put him there to make fatwa. Subhanallah. It's only 4 years, brother. Unless this person, mashallah, he does his own reading. But a person who graduated from the Medina, it doesn't give him the go ahead to go and give fatwa, because he hasn't really stawa ala udi. You have to really, you have to go into this age in a way that you are, unless you are one of those people, as I said, an exception. But no, it is the case that people now, they take it and just like, you got university. Wallahi, I know, ya akhi, people got PhD, they can't really, they need help. They need help in their deen. Allah musta'an. قال فسئلوا فأفتوا. They gave a fatwa without knowledge. فضلوا وأضلوا. That means they were misguided, and they misguided as well others. So because of that, we have many of those callers for dalala. Da'iyah, celebrity for dalala. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, the hadith which most of you know, أخوف ما أخاف عليكم أو على أمتي. Most thing that I fear upon my ummah, الأئمة المضلون. Al-A'imma, the imams, the leaders, the ones who are heads, the scholars, but the ones who misguide. Not the one who guides you, the one who misguide. They misguide you because of their tongue. They're very good in speaking the words. It's not these days who are, even the misguided old man, and he's got old fashioned, there are not a lot of clicks on him. It's the one who's a youth now these days. The youth. They've got magic in their words. As the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Inna min al-bayani la sihr. Verily, some of the eloquent words are just to be magic. magic, but they are empty. They mesmerize people through words. And the hadith of the Prophet of Allah, some of you know, and some of you don't. أَخْوَفُ مَا أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ. The most thing I fear upon you. He's pointing to the companions and he's speaking to this ummah through the companions. That is, كُلُّ مُنَافِقٍ. After, قال أَخْوَفُ مَا أَخَافُ عَلَيْكُمْ بَعْدِي. After me, after I go. كُلُّ مُنَافِقٍ. Every hypocrite. قال عليم اللسان. Good in his tongue. His tongue is very good. عليم اللسان. But he's a hypocrite. Whether this hypocrisy is major or minor, he tells you on something and something he himself does not apply it. He tells you doing the deen and he doesn't do it. And the one which maybe is to be surprised, look at this hadith. And this hadith in Silsila Sahiha 1989. Well, Shaykh makes it authentic. He said, غير الدجال أخوف على أمتي من الدجال. Do you think that other than the Dajjal, who's more I fear upon my ummah than the Dajjal? Yes. قال غير الدجال أخوف على أمتي من الدجال الأئمة المضلون. The Dajjal is the biggest fitna, the one who's been given power by the Almighty Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to do things that only Allah does, to command the rain to come, to move the cloud. Is fitna that we seek refuge in Allah. Every time we pray at the end in the tashahhud, whether it's the first or the last, but in the last we should seek refuge in 4. We must in our tashahhud. وَمِن شَرِّ فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ. And that is, what is that? The fitna. That is that to be exposed to him and then you don't know what you're going to do. Yet the Prophet ﷺ, he said, more of fearing onto my ummah than the Dajjal is al-a'imma al-mudillun. Because al-a'imma al-mudillun is not going to come at a particular time as the Dajjal. They are in all times. Since the Prophet ﷺ had died, we find all of those that were there. A'immatul mudillun. Wasir ibn Atta is a Muslim. And he was the head of the Mu'tazila. Jahm ibn Safwan, all of those a'immatul mudillun. They have chucked lots of people into hellfire by creating their deviant methodology. So that is why we say that these days we have youth coming out. Whether the youth isn't talking about teenagers or 24 or 34, they're still youth. Or into their 30s or in the 40s, they're still youth. You'll find him small, yet he's speaking ill about major scholars. Subhanallah. His tongue is longer than him. His tongue is bigger than him. Speaks ill about the great scholars. And his followers, they've been deceived by him because of his words. And we say that, our Shaykh al-Albani used to say this a lot. حُبُّ الظُّهُورِ يَقْصِمُ الظُّهُورِ. حُبُّ الظُّهُورِ means the love to be known, to be presented as a sheikh, and all of that. يَقْصِمُ الظُّهُورِ. It will kill you back. If this person, whom people calling him sheikh, if somebody called him such and such, Abu Suhaib, and he gets upset, then know for a fact that this person is after the title. Our Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, a number of times he was called in front of me by a man, regardless how old he is, going to be younger than the Shaykh. He said, Ya Abu Abdul Rahman, that's his kunya. Ya Abu Abdul Rahman. Shaykh, yes, is smiling to him. You never say to him, say the word Shaykh. One day, Shaykh al-Albani, he was visiting one of his students, and he's one of the great students of his, in his house. And I'm not going to mention the names here. And basically, the Sheikh was, I think, eating. And this Sheikh, student of the Sheikh, he was calling onto somebody because he want to call him to the house. He didn't find him. So he found maybe his daughter, the little girl. He said to her, when your father come, tell him, Sheikh so-and-so called, meaning himself. I didn't think he wanted to lift up himself. But because he's got this name was common, Sheikh so and so. So tell him Sheikh so and so. After he put the phone down, this is the lesson that we've learned now from our Sheikh Al-Albani, rahimahullah. He said, what you just said there is good except for one word. If that one word is gone, it will be more beautiful. Every student there, from the shuyukh, they knew what the Sheikh Al-Albani meant. I mean, using that word, Sheikh, if you just said it, if somebody said it to you, it's different from you say about yourself. Sheikh so-and-so, called. حب الظهور يقسم الظهور. Learn that word. Love to be known, it will break your back. Now, it's in Arabic, it's a rhyming, but in English, you can't do it. حب الظهور يقسم الظهور. حب الظهور means love to be presented and known to everybody. ظهور, known, celebrity. يقسم الظهور, it will break your back. ظهر means back. And these days, it's become very easy to be known. Before, it is not. They say, for example, a long time ago, إذا أردت أن تعرف فبل في ماء زمزم. If you want to be known, go and urinate in the Zamzam water. So basically, if you go to Mecca and go to the Zamzam and start urinating in Zamzam, everybody will know you. Of course, they will know you in a bad way, but you'll know such and such, he had urinated in Zamzam. A person wants to beat you up, a person wants to curse you, but you'll be known, shown. This is the only person like this Suwayqiyatain, whom the Prophet Allah talked about, is the one who's going to be what? Taking the Kaaba down. And he's not even known. Rubbish person. But because he's going to put the Kaaba down, everybody's going to know him. He's in the hadith. So this is the person now, as a parable said in Arabic, if you want to be known, go to Zamzam. And now you don't need to go and get a ticket to go to Zamzam and urinate there in order to be known. No. Social media done it for you. Very easy. You could do it in front of the people, by these photoshops and everything. You could do it. So tools these days make it easy to urinate in Zamzam water, if you understand what I'm saying. People are very easy for them now to be known and to get the clicks. The fourth reason, that is, for those celebrities who are misguiding people to thrive and to be known, we have to have the audience. The audience who are the ones spreading the venom. They don't really check the information is being passed on to them. We call them in Arabic ar-ra'a. Ra'a, just like, sheep following the shepherd. I don't think the sheep would be, saying to the shepherd, where are you taking me to? No way. Same thing with these people. Ra'a. Atba'u kulli na'iq. The followers of every person who calls. Somebody calls them this way, they go this way. Call them that way, they will go this way. Subhanallah. Atba'u kulli na'iq. What they're after? Entertainment. What they see now for me, it's not entertainment, it's solid knowledge. But when it's entertainment and speaking and dancing on the platform and all of that, like a monkey, you'll find people entertained. They like it. They love it. Because the knowledge needs jihad. Needs to sit and listen and learn, subhanallah. So they don't really check whether this person is a person who is fit to take knowledge from or not. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. This is in Al-Adab al-Mufrad. For those who studied Al-Adab al-Mufrad, they know this. Athar from Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. He said, لا تكونوا عجلا مذايع بذرا. Don't be people who are hasty. مذايع, that means you just, like a cone. You hear things and then you take it out. These people, they take something on the mashallah, on the WhatsApp without input, output, straight away. You start spreading the venom without him. Yeah, just listen to this. Damaging people. You don't like this. مذايع بذرا. That means like a cone, hearing everything and then you spread it without checking. When you hear something in, there's a brain for you, juggle it about, see if it's fitting or not. Then if it's good, take it from the other side. Okay, from the mouth or whatever, from the hands, spread it. But if it's something bad, then down in the toilet. في الحش أجلكم الله. Then he said, فإن من ورائكم بلاء مبرحا مكلحا. For verily you're going to have difficult time. وأمورا متماحلة ردحا. Fitan. People cannot distinguish these days. Where is the haqq and where is the batil? Ibn Sirin, he says, and this is in مقدمة صحيح Imam Muslim, you'll find it, introduction. قال ابن سيرين, one of the great scholars of the Tabi'in, قال إن هذا العلم دين فانظروا عمن تأخذوا دينكم. Verily this knowledge is deen, religion. So you should know where you take your knowledge from. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said إنكم لتزالون بخير ما دام العلم في أكابركم أو في كباركم فإذا كان العلم في صغاركم سفه الصغير الكبير. Listen to this. You are always good and upon prevailing and prosperity as long as the knowledge is in the eldest people of yours, the senior people, not the kids, the senior people of yours. If the knowledge is in the little ones, the young ones, then the young will start to speak ill about the senior. And this is in Al-Kitab Al-Jami' Al-Ilm Ibn Abd al-Barr. Umar al-Khattab also, he says, and this is in Fath al-Bari, فساد العلم, the knowledge ruined or the knowledge being corrupted, إذا جاء العلم من قبل الصغير, if the knowledge came from the little one, the young one, فاستعصى عليه الكبير, so the big one doesn't take it, cannot take from the kid. وصلاح الناس, but the people, prosperity is when the ilm, the knowledge comes from the elder, the senior people, and then the younger will follow. So we say in Arabic, من خاض في غير علمه أتى بالعجائب. We find lots of people now, they are speaking not in their field. And the saying says that if any person spoke in something which is not his field, he will come with hilarious things. He will come with hilarious things. Now, that is why the ilm of al-qira'at, the knowledge of the qira'at, it has its men. The men which are scholars. Now, I don't understand why those people, they listen to those ones whom we say in Arabic, لا يعرف كوعه من بوعه من كرسوعه. The one who knows Arabic, maybe even they don't understand this. If this person cannot know what is his ku' and his bu' and his kursu', then he's in trouble. You could ask me, inshallah, in question time, what is the ku' and the bu' and the kursu'? But when I was young, didn't know Arabic properly, I thought ku' is this one. This is called ku', we say. But I realized it's not called ku', it's called mirfaq. What is then, what is the ku'? What is the bu' and what is the kursu'? I didn't know until I studied. So this person doesn't know that, and yet he speaks in a very, very specific field. This is like specializing in the specialization. You know, when you, for example, as a doctor, there's a GP, general, he knows everything, general practitioner. But there's one which is like, for example, cardiologist. This is now, qira'at is not cardiologist. This is even person specializing in the cardiologist. For example, in the very minute things. The doctors, they told me these days, they have even specialization in the specialization. And this is ilm al-qira'at, the knowledge of al-qira'at, the Quran. So, why these people listen to these people? I'll say as well, إِنَّ الْبُغَاةَ فِي أَرْضِنَا يَسْتَنْسِرُ. Verily, as the Sheikh al-Albani had said this, which is a well-known saying, that the small bird, he shows himself to be an eagle. Where? In the land where there is no eagle. Here in this UK, in this country, we don't have eagles. So small birds make themselves eagle. But when they go to the land of the scholars, they're not even known. You're going to be straight away taken away from that, snatched from the eagles, because there's not an eagle. They'll be killed straight away. What are you talking about? It's better for you to be quiet, not to talk. Now the Sheikh al-Albani, when he was praised in one of his lectures, the one who introduced the lecture, and rightly so, he said just very, smile, good words. It's not really uplifting the Sheikh so much, but the Sheikh, he said, and he cried, and he said, إِنَّ الْبُغَاثَ فِي أَرْضِنَا يَسْتَنْسِرُ. My similarity is like this little bird. I'm trying to make an eagle onto you because there is no eagles. Subhanallah. Wallahi, Sheikh, he was the eagle at that time. The eagle of not the country of Jordan, the eagle of the whole world. yet he calls himself a small bird. He's the eagle. Sheikh Abdul Razak Al-Abbad, Hafidhahullah, he says, when I was next to Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen and I was in my university seats and the Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen came and I was the one who to introduce him. Sheikh Abdul Razak is one of the scholars now. And I wanted to introduce the Sheikh. So I said some of the words which are, praising the Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, but it's not that much. I'm not really putting him up to be a prophet or something like that, but I need to. And then the Sheikh, he just really told me off. He said, so much, I started startling. I can't know what all the words which I prepared evaporated from my brains. I don't know what to say. This is our real scholars. These are the ones who are real scholars. He told him off. He couldn't say anything. He can't remember the words he prepared. And then he has just to start, and he didn't know. So he told him off. SubhanAllah. These are the real scholars. Whereas we find these days, people are kids. When they want people to think about them, they are scholars. A man, not a long time ago, comes and he says, I have really gone deep into this issue. Al-Quran, deep into this issue. That he was hesitating to answer the question, if you're being given a blank Quran, would you rewrite the Quran as it is? He hesitated in answering that answer and brought the confusion. May Allah guide him and guide the others. This hesitation, subhanAllah, the first thing that we learn, if you're a student of knowledge, that we have to believe that this Quran, from cover to cover, is the words of Allah, not like you said, the words, every letter, not every word, every letter that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any other recitation than what is in the Quran, which hasn't fulfilled the condition which I'll be talking about maybe in my second session, then cannot be a qira'ah that you could use in your prayer when you pray. It cannot be a qira'ah when you start to recite the Quran. Yes, we could use it, for example, of interpretation. And this has to be something that the Muslim should never hesitate about. It should be like in his, we call it fi kummihi, like that. If I'm going to give you a blank book to rewrite the Quran, would you write the same? Or, of course I'm going to write the same. That's my answer, without any hesitation, and saying going too deep in dalala, akhi. Going deep into dalala, not deep into the books. And that's why we say, man khada fi ghayri fannihi ata bil ajab. He who has spoke about something which is not his field, he will bring lots of hilarious things, not acceptable. Then he mentions that he had met such and such and such and such. Subhanallah, it's like he met Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. The ones who he met, one of them is known to his extreme, bizarre, odd fatawa, and the other person is known for his manhaj, which is not upon the manhaj of the Salaf with the aqidah fasida. One, which is known for his fatwa to give the permission, and it's permissible, he says, for the man to make an intercourse with his wife from the anus. Yes. Not to say the fatwa regarding the smoking and the cigarettes. I would say nothing compared with this fatwa. But the Prophet of Allah, he said, Man atam ra'atan fi duburiha faqad kafar. He was a married person who had came into his wife into the anus. That means not into the front from the back. No, into the anus itself. Then he had disbelieved in Muhammad. فَقَدْ كَفَرْ, believed in Allah Azza wa Jal, believed in the religion. This fatwa. So if a person like this is going to be your sheikh and you're asking him, and the other person, we say in Arabic, إذا كان الغراب دليل قوم يمر بهم على جيف الكلاب. It means that if your guider is the crow, then definitely he will take you to the corpses and the carrions of the dogs, dead animals. Because if he's going to guide you, what are you going to guide you, this crow? Nice meat, fresh meat? No. Rotten carrion dogs. If you're going to take these people as the ones who are going to be guiding you. And then when this person comes to these things which are You know, as I said, only the scholars that can speak about, and he still, you know, does these, you know, comes with his fatwa. We have another fatwa as well before. I said, may Allah guide this person. And I'm talking about him and others as well. Because this is the start of misguidance. When they have, for example, reinterpreted Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Ya'juj and Ma'juj from the 10 signs of the day of resurrection. And you say that Ya'juj and Ma'juj does not exist because now we have satellites and we can see everything onto the earth. It's impossible to know. So it's impossible for them to hide. We will know where they were. How can they have a wall and they can't really come out? They must have come out a long time ago, for example. Subhanallah. I'm going to quote now fatwa from Sheikh Ibn Baz, which I know for sure. And you could go and see it on the. Was asked about a person who denies Al-Mahdi, Al-Dajjal, Isa alayhi salam, and Ya'juj and Ma'juj. What is the rule regarding him? He said, all of those we have to believe in them. As for the Mahdi, we have lots of ahadith, even had the tawatur. And if a person denied the Mahdi, not the Mahdi of the Shia, the Mahdi of ours, the Sunnah, and he had some narrations which have misguided him, we say he's a dalal. He's not a kafir. But any person deny any of the last three, that is Al-Masih, Al-Dajjal, and Isa alayhi salam, and Ya'juj and Ma'juj, one of them, then he's a kafir. If he denies it, he's a kafir. That's not my fatwa. So if he denies the existence of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, who are mentioned in the Quran, min kulli hadabin yansilun, if he denies that, he's kafir. Subhanallah. Do we take knowledge from these people? You might say, well, he does not deny it, but he says that to reinterpret it. Allahu musta'an. Same thing, ya akhi. I'm not saying that the person who's saying it is kafir. I can't say about him is a kafir, but this is kufr. The person have to watch what he's saying and not to start to be the head of a fitna, creating. What are you trying to create here? But alhamdulillah, that is not now, at the moment, he's being, this person or that person being emerged as from the Salafi madhab, alhamdulillah. Upon the Salaf al-Salih, they will never say such a thing. Because if you deny Ya'juj and Ma'juj like this way, one deny then the existence of as well Adhab al-Qabr, because you will see maybe the heat, measurement equipment that you're going to talk about. There is no punishment in the grave as well. You're going to deny as well the Dajjal, because the Dajjal we believe is alive. He's somewhere in one of the islands. I don't know which one. But because you could see everybody, you're going to deny the Dajjal. The same mentality. Whatever you applied on the Ya'juj and Ma'juj, you applied on the Dajjal as well. I'll tell you what, now they've got as well things to see the universe. They might be, well, you might deny Isa alayhi salam. You got things to see the universe, you know, the skies and all of that. Where is Isa alayhi salam? Where is he being uplifted? At least you're going to deny Sahih Muslim. Where in Sahih Muslim we know that Ya'juj and Ma'juj, they will be at the time of Isa alayhi salam. So if you said that Ya'juj and Ma'juj is not there, or they have appeared already, so where is Isa? You have to deny the ahadith in Sahih Muslim, which are very clear. You have to deny the ahadith in Sahih Bukhari, which are very clear regarding Isa alayhi salam. So this is why I'm saying to the people, subhanallah, why do you just listen to anybody because you got so many clicks or so many followers? Allahu musta'an. If you want to have some more followers, then the shaitan have more followers. On the day of resurrection, Allah will ask Adam to send the people from the hellfire, from his lineage. He said, what is Ba'thun Nar, O Lord? He said, from every 1,000 from your descendants, 999 go to the hellfire and 1 go to paradise. So the Hizb al-Shaitan is a lot. This ilm, this knowledge, okay, we say to him, yeah, well, I've heard that as well. Maybe this person, he was told to, clear his misconception. And maybe he had sent something to clear it off. But we say, subhanallah, jazakallahu khairan, first of all. But we say, like in Arabic, ba'da kharabi Basra. It's a parable. We say that when one of the leaders at the time, the 6th century, and the Zinj Africans had attacked Al-Basra. So the mayor had sent to the Khalifa, send us support an army. These people ruined everything, and then the army arrived. And they said, what? You're arriving, you're sending me this, and after Al-Basra have been ruined? بعد خراب Basra? Basra's been gone now. It's too late. And that's why the Prophet said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالَّذِي يُعْتَذَرُ مِنْ. Be aware of that thing that you're going to be apologizing. So if you are going to be heading the people and saying something, then be careful what you say. Especially if you've got lots of people listening to you. Because if this person listened to something wrong, you might rectify it, but that one who had listened to you, do you guarantee he's going to listen to the rectification? SubhanAllah, it's very important. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالَّذِي يُعْتَذَرُ. Don't speak about things that you might be apologizing, especially if it's public. Like when Abu Hurairah made a mistake, he made a fatwa to somebody. He went to the pulpit telling that, please tell that woman, where is she, that woman? That who made it, tell that Abu Hurairah made a mistake. SubhanAllah. But this social media is different. At the time of Abu Hurairah, there was no social media. One woman she could make it to another, but this one is a click of a button. Thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people will know. So to be careful, akhi. So my advice to myself, to the person, to the others, ليس هذا بعشك فدرجي. This is not your field. Go. This has been said to the bird when it goes to another nest or another nest of another bird. This is not your nest. Go away. This is not your field. And we say to this person as well who had used such and such two people to elaborate on what he's thinking about and he's gone deep. Are you taken as these people to be a witness from what I call them النطيحة والمتردية والمنخنقة والموقوذة? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says المنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة. الله المستعان. لا تكن رأسا في الفتنة يا أخي. Do not be ahead in the fitna. Now, we're going to start the topic with a hadith. And then from that hadith, we will elaborate. Bukhari and Muslim narrates from Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. He said, سمعت هشام ibn Hakim. This is in Bukhari and Muslim, the most authentic book after the book of Allah. I've heard Hisham ibn Hakim. He's a companion. Hisham ibn Hakim is a big companion. And he's got a son called Amr ibn Hisham as well. He said he was reciting Surah Al-Furqan while he was praying. And that was the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When I heard his recitation, he's reciting on something which is different. على حروف كثيرة, which I haven't heard from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, subhanallah, he says, Umar, I was about to jump upon him while he's praying. Jump upon him, that means to punish him. What is this surah is reciting? Surah Al-Furqan. So, he said, I got patient. I sort of restrained myself and stopped myself until he finished his prayer. When he finished the prayer, straight away, I got to him like this, and I held it from his neck. And I said to him, Man aqra'aka hadi surah? Who made you to recite this surah in that particular way? قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. He said, the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم said, and when he said, كذبت, you lied. So I took him, dragging him like this, then let go to the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. So he said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Messenger of Allah, I have heard this man reciting Surah Al-Furqan in a way that is, I did not learn it. I did not hear you reciting in the same way. So the Prophet said, Arsilhu, let him go. Let him speak. So he let him go. Iqra ya Hisham, recite, O Hisham. So he started reciting. Umar, he says the same recitation which I have heard while he was praying. That means he did not change. It's the same recitation, which the one that made me is going to be jumping upon him, and I don't really believe this is the recitation from the Prophet. So Prophet of Allah answered, he said, كَذَلِكَ أُنزِلَتْ. This is the way it is being revealed. Then he said to me, Umar, recite. So I recited the way that he taught me. So he said, this is the way it's being sent down, revealed. For verily the Quran was revealed على سبعة أحرف, on 7 أحرف. أحرف means letters. I'm going to explain inshallah. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْ. Recite what is easy for you. So the question is here. The Quran recitation. The difference here that Umar ibn Khattab had basically objected on Hisham. What is it? The scholars, they said that al-ikhtilaf in the recitation, to recite differently, either in the usul or al-furush. مفردها فرش. Either in the usul or the furush. What is the usul? What is the furush? The usul is basically the thing that governs the whole of the recitation. For example, al-hamz. For example, al-idgham. For example, al-idhar. All of those, they govern the whole of the recitation. So, for example, Hafs, he says al-ard. Wherever there's a hamza, al-ard. Where is Warsh and others, they say al-ard. There is no hams. And that goes for them in the whole, that's called usul. So al-usul في الإضغام, في الإظهار, في الإمالة, في الوقف على الهمز, and all of that, that's called al-usul. Usul means principle, it means usul al-kulliyat, the general laws. Al-farsh or al-furush is specific rule for a specific word. So it's a specific, it's not really general. And we could give a clear example for you to learn. For example, in the general rule of Hafs, which the students that I've taught them as well, in Madd al-Sila. Madd al-Sila, which is the pronoun suffix that comes at the end of a verb. For example, فوقه, يعمله, the ha here at the end, pronoun suffix. This one, according to Hafs, that if this ha is got a dhamma or a kasra, not a fatha, and not preceded or followed by a non-vowel letter, means sakin, then that dhamma, should say, that dhamma, and that kasra would be turned into the corresponding letter from the letters of mad, which is dhamma will become into u, and the kasra becomes into e. For example, ba'dahu abada, for example. So who here turned who, ba'dahu abada, ba'dahu, and that's a general rule. But if it is one of them before or after is sakin, then it will not take the dhamma or the kasra. For example, yaf'alhu idhan, for example. Here, the lam sakin before the ha, so I'm not going to be prolonging the dhamma onto the ha, and going to be yaf'alhu idhan. I know I'm going to in a bit of details, but I'm just explaining to you what is the farsh here. So this is usul. But there is two words which are exceptional into Hafs and Asim. Both are in Surah, or one of them in Surah Al-Furqan. And that is يَخْلُدْ فِيهِ مُهَانَةً. This ha madsila, which has got a kasra, the ha, yet we made it with a ya, even though it's preceded by sakin. فِيهِ مُهَانَةً. And also we have يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. According to Hafs law, it's supposed to be يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ, but يَرْضَهُ لَكُمْ. So this is farsh. So I'm going to ask the question now regarding the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ when he said to Hisham and said to Umar that both of you recited correctly. Both of you that recited. So what did Umar, he basically, what did he, for example, objected on Hisham to hold him from this? Is it in the usul or is it into the farsh? I don't think it's the usul, because the usul, it could be the lahja itself, and both of them from Quraysh, is to be the farsh. So this farsh, okay, for example, we know that this farsh, we have that in Surah Al-Furqan, some of the words are being read differently. Verse 8, Jannah ya'kul minha, and then na'kul. So ya'kul and na'kul. Ya'kul and na'kul. So if he heard Hisham saying na'kul and he had learned the word ya'kul, Well, you changing the Quran. Or verse number 10, قال ويجعل. Or say, okay, and also فما تستطيعون صرفا ولا نصرا. And then the word يستطيعون. So تستطيعون and يستطيعون. Verse number 19. And by the way, تستطيعون is only Hafs. And the rest is say يستطيعون صرفا ولا نصرا. So this is maybe and definitely why Umar al-Khattab objected on Hisham. It's not to do with the idgham or the ikhfa, all of that. It's to do with this, with the farsh. طيب. Now we come to make it more simpler to you, inshallah. We say that the Muslims had agreed. The Muslims had agreed, and they have a consensus here, that the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ on 7 أحرف, على 7 أحرف. Hadith Ubay ibn Ka'b radiallahu anhu, where he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, Atani Jibreel wa Mikail. Jibreel and Mikail, they came down onto me. And each one of them asked me to, Mikail started reciting, Jibreel started reciting, and the Prophet ﷺ, he was asked, I'm going to quote the hadith now, قال وجاء ميكائيل عن يسار. Jibreel was on my right and Mikail was on my left. So he said to me, اقرأ على حرف. He started on one harf. Then Mikail, he said, ask him for more. So I asked him for more. Why? To make it easy on the ummah, because we have lots of tribes. اقرأ على حرف. So he read another harf. Harf. I'm going to tell you what is the meaning of harf when we come to it, inshallah. قال Mikail استزد. Ask him for more. I've asked him for more. And Jibreel said, you want more? Okay, he gave him another harf. Until it was 7. Then he said, كل ذلك كاف شاف. You recite on any of these letters, those 7 letters, then it will be shafin and kafin. What is shafin, kafin? Shafin means a cure. And a cure here for the heart, a cure for the body, and cure for the soul. Kafin, that means you don't need anything else. Khalas, it's for you. So this is the Quran is being revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what are the 7 letters? We have to understand that there is not a single clear narration. What are the 7 letters and what is the meaning of it? And that is why the scholars had differed in the number itself and the meaning itself. So we got different in the numbers and in the meaning. As for the difference of the scholars regarding of the reality of the word 7, the number itself, we have 3 opinions. Opinion number 1 is that this 7 is from the mutashabih. We don't know. What is the reality of 7? So these people have basically relaxed from, the meaning of it, and as well the limitation of the number. We don't know what's a 7, so we don't know. This is from like al-Ahruf, alif, lam, mim, sad. We don't know. Allahu a'lamu biha. Allah knows best. This is the madhab of Ibn Sa'dan al-Nahawi. And the second methodology or opinion is that 7 is mentioned to show that it's a lot. And this is an Arab madhab. And this is, by the way, the madhab of al-Qadi Iyad. The Arabs, they used to, for example, if they want to talk about from 1 to 10, something a lot, they would say sab'. In the tens, they say 70, sab'een. So when Allah says, astaghfir lahum sab'ina marra. Sab'ina marra here, it means a lot of tens. So 70, 80, 60, so they call it 70. And 700, al-kathratu fil mi'at, lots of hundreds, 700. And by the way, there is a book about this for Imam Salah ad-Din al-Safadi. It's called Tardu al-Sab' an Sard al-Sab'. Talks about the 7, number 7. And Imam al-Suyuti rahmatullah alayhi, he had also made a book onto that book to summarize it, called Ayn al-Nab' fi Mukhtasari Tard al-Sab'. The third opinion regarding the word sab'a, the number itself, it is actually 7. And this is the madhab of the Jumhur, most of the scholars. And the hadith which we quoted before, which is in Silsila Sahiha 843, that is, Atani Jibreel, and he said to him, extra letter, until he got 7. So the 7 is the actual 7. And that's what we believe is the correct opinion. It is 7. Now, in terms of the meaning, Al-Ahruf al-Saba, what does that mean? Now, the scholars regarding this issue also, they have differed. A lot of difference. Even a sheikh, the recent sheikh, which is Dr. Abdul Aziz Al-Qari, when he was asked regarding the meaning of it, so what do you think, one of these, which one opinion you say that regarding the meaning of it? He said, Allahu a'lam. أرجح أو ترجح عندي أني لا أعرف معناه. What has been now for me that I don't know the meaning of it. You see, we find Ibn Hibban, rahimahullah, he got 35 opinions regarding the meaning of Al-Ahruf al-Saba. Imam al-Suyuti in his book Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, he made them 40, so he added 5 opinions as well. Then in Mullah al-Qari, al-Hanafi, he also added another one, so it became 41 opinions regarding the meaning of Al-Ahruf al-Saba. And if you look at them and read them, they will not really go more than 10. I mean, there's got similarity between them. It's about, 10 or 11. Now, we are concerned about the strongest of them. And we're going to talk about the one that we think it is clear it is the correct one. Strongest of them is the 3 opinions. Number 1 is it is alfaz mukhtalifa lima'nan wahid, meaning number of words, but it has the same meaning. It's called al-mutaradif. Synonyms. Like, for example, the word aqbala or aqbil, ta'al. Aqbil means come and ta'al means come, both. Or halumma as well, the same thing. All of it, okay, that aqbala, ta'al, halum is all of it words. And they are being revealed. So it is more than wordings regarding this. And this is most of the scholars. Now, when Uthman, as we're going to talk about inshallah next session, had gathered the Mus'haf, he gathered it on 1 harf. We will see that, how it is. So we don't find a word which is read to be 7 times in 7 ways, in a word in the Quran. We're going to see that as well. Now, this is the first opinion. Second opinion is the 7 letters are representing 7 dialects, which are the tribes at the time, from the tribes of Quraysh and Hudayl and Mudar and all of those. So they believe that there are 7 dialects which are spread into the Quran. But when you say this, and we say that the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا, Allah, he said, we have made the Quran to be facilitated, dhikr. How can it be facilitated when we find, for example, it is easy for one tribe and is not easy for the second tribe? So that's saying maybe even it is being championed by a number of scholars, but you can see it's not really strong. The third opinion, which is sab'atu awjuh, 7 ways, from different ways of the recitations. And this is from the ones who are muhaqqiqeen from the scholars, like Ibn Qutaybah and Ibn al-Jazari. Ibn Qutaybah and Ibn al-Jazari. This is maybe the strongest opinion regarding this issue. Ibn Qutaybah, he comes from the 3rd century, and Ibn al-Jazari comes from the 8th century. They are from the shuyukh, to say the shuyukh of the Qur'an. We're going to talk about that as well, inshallah, in a minute. So now these are the 3 opinions had mentioned. Now we want to come to the 3rd opinion, which is the opinion supported by Ibn Qutaybah. He died in the year 276 Hijri, and the other one 833, the 9th century, as we said. That Ibn Jazari himself, rahmatullah alayhi, he had chosen Ibn Qutaybah opinion, that is 7 awjuh. He said, I have تأملت قول ابن قتيبة نيفا و30 سنة. I have looked into the saying and the chosen opinion regarding the 7 letters, was the meaning of them, for more than 30 years. Subhanallah. Not more than 30 minutes, or 30 hours, or 30 days, or 30 weeks, or 30 months. 30 years until he said that I'm relaxed to adopt that opinion. Sab'at al-Ahruf is Sab'at awjuh. So what are these 7 awjuh? What are these 7 awjuh, 7 ways of recitations? Which is Sab'at Ahruf. Okay, I know that this now needs from you to write. If you haven't got to listen, to record this and then, inshallah, summarize. First from the 7 is, imagine now you have a Quran which is got only the words but without any dots or any vowels, no fatha, dhamma, kasra, just the drawing of the word, the drawing of the word. So take the fatha and the dhamma and the kasra, and take as well the dots for the ba and the noon and the ya, all of those, and the fa and the qaf, no dots. Let's see how these 7 are gonna come in. First way is that there is difference in the tashkil, the vowelization, dhamma, kasra, fatha, and the meaning still the same, and the drawing of the word still the same. So the meaning is the same and the drawing is the same, but we have the fatha and the dhamma is different. Like I give you an example in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 280, Maysara and Maysura. Same word, Maysara and Maysura, but here the tashkil, which is the i'rab. I'rab means the, this is only for the language of the Arabic, not for the English. I'rab, that means when you start to define is a subject or object or a preposition or all that. So Maysara and Maysura. So the sin instead of fatha, the other one's got both of them to be authentic. Called Maysara and Maysura. And we have that. Or Surah Al-Masad, verse number 1, Tabbat yada abi lahabi wa tab. So be mentioned as well, lahabin and lahbin. Lahb. That means with a sukoon on the ha instead of a fatha. And that is in Surah Al-Masad, and that is authentic. That's one way. So we got the tashkil. So we got now the meaning is the same, the drawing of the word is the same, which is the Rasm Mushaf Uthmani, the same, but the vowelization is different. Second way of these 7, which has been, as I said, by Ibn Qutaybah, adopted by Ibn Jazri, is that you have difference in the vowelization, in the i'rab, the fatha dhamma, but it will lead to a different meaning. And the image of the word is still the same. And that is, for example, in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 37, the word which is فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ, this is the one you know, مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ, فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ, but there is another recitation, فَتَلَقَّى آدَمَ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٌ. The other one, فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ. That changes the Adam to Adama and Adamu, and Kalimat to Kalimatin and Kalimatun. The last, which is Fatha Dhamma Kasra. Now that will lead to a change in the meaning. So Ibn Kathir, he recites فَتَلَقَّى آدَمَ مِنْ رَبِّهِ. Adam becomes مفعول به. That means the object, so the verb goes on to him. So it becomes now is not the object, is the subject. I don't know if the subject and object is being known. فَعَلْ مَفْعُولْ بِهِ. He's not the one who is the object, is the subject now. Adama. So it changes the meaning. The third way is that the letters of the word, they change, but still the same i'rab, same object or subject, but the letters, they change. Not the whole word, the letters. And same word becomes it's the same, but the letters, okay, the letters change. So for example, as we said, imagine the Quran is got no vowelization and no dots. So the dots goes from one side to another. It's the same drawing of the word. I'll give you an example. ننشزها and ننشرها. Surah Al-Baqarah verse 259. ننشزها وننشرها. There's a qira'ah which is not from the Quran's recitations. It's called qira'ah shadha. It's not accepted, and that is nanshuruha, not nunshiruha, nanshuruha. Now, this one, we said it is the letters change, and also it will give a different meaning, but it's the same drawing of the word. So this is the third way. Example of that, Baqarah 259. Nunshizuha. That means we form it. Nunshizuha means form it. Nunshiruha means to revive it. So different meanings. And also the word fatabayyanu and fatathabbatu in Surah Al-Hujurat, verse number 6, and also in verse Surah Al-Nisa, verse 94. Fatabayyanu fatathabbatu. It's the same word in drawing wise, but the letters have been changed. Fatabayyanu, ta ba, fatathabbatu, ta tha. So imagine, as I said, the word has got no dots, so you're changing the dots onto those letters. So we have changed the letters of the word, yet the same drawing of the word is there, but it's different meaning. And both are existing in the Quran. Number 4 is اختلاف في حروف الكلمة. That means the difference is in the words of the word, different in the letters of the word, and also there is a different in the meaning and the image of the word. So the image of the word is not the same now. So this is extra on the top, number 3. This is number 4 now. We have the letters are different, but they will change into the drawing of the word. And that happens on the Quran. And the Quran has been written in a way to take that. But this is the image of the word is going to change now. Bidanin and bidanin. This is in Surah At-Takwir, verse 24. Bidanin is authentic, and bidanin is also authentic. The 5th way, we got now 3 still, 5th and 6th and 7th, is that the word is completely different, which will change the image. The meaning is still the same. So the image of the word was surah, the image of the word will change, and also the word itself will change. And that is being abrogated. Like for example, in Surah Yasin, 3 times has been appeared, and Surah Sad, verse 15, Surah Al-Qamar, verse 31, the word sayha, sayhata wahida. We have a word which is dhaqiyah. The word instead of sayha, dhaqiyah. And that does not exist in the Quran anymore. But there is one, sorry, and as well, there is as well, as another one, Surah Al-Jumu'ah, فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ, or فَامْضُوا. So فَاسْعَوْا, فَامْضُوا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Surah Al-Jumu'ah, verse number 9. The 6th way now, اختلاف في التقديم والتأخير. That means differing is in making one word before the other. This also has been abrogated in Surah Qaf, verse number 19. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ. Another one, وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْحَقِّ بِالْمَوْتِ. Not سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ, سَكْرَةُ الْحَقِّ بِالْمَوْتِ. The 7th one, which is addition. Difference of recitation of the way Quran, the addition. So the addition and the taken away. So adding a letter or taking the letter away. We find that this is still in the Quran, some of it is there. For example, in Surah Yasin, verse 35, وَمَا عَمِلَتْهُ أَيْدِيهِمْ, and also وَمَا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. We have that. It's authentic. وَمَا عَمِلَتْهُ with a ha after the ta, وَمَا عَمِلَتْ without a ha, أَيْدِيهِمْ. Also in Surah Al-Hadid, we have a whole word, not just a letter. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. Surah Al-Hadid, verse 24. The other recitation, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ, which is authentic, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. Not without the word huwa. Okay, all of that is also authentic. So as a summary, after this, what appears to us, and we're going to finish by this, inshallah. Second part will be making it so easy for you, bi'idhnillah, that the Ahruf al-Sab'ah, the most authentic one regarding the Ahruf al-Sab'ah, what is the meaning of them, is that what Ibn Qutaybah and Ibn Jazari had chosen, and that is 7 ways of recitation. Number two, that these 7 ways of recitation is not in every word, but actually there is a consensus which is being mentioned by Ibn Abdul Barr, that there is not a single word in the Quran that can be recited in 7 ways except for very, very little. Illa qalil. For example, the word arjih. Arjih in Surah Al-A'raf 111, in Surah Al-Shu'ara verse 36, arjih. There is about 6 ways of reciting that word. The third point regarding this issue, what comes to us as well, that the scholars had as well consensus that the Ahruf al-Sab'a is not the Qira'at al-Sab'a. You have to understand, we're going to explain the Qira'at as well. The 7 letters is not the 7 ways of recitation. This is 7 ways of words to recite some words. But the 7 ways of recitation, that is something that comes later on, which is Abu Bakr ibn Mujahid in the year 300, when he comes and he says, and he chooses from the recitation of the 25, which has been gathered by the scholars before him, and he gets 7, which is the famous one. We're going to come to that inshallah, with as well some text to share with you. So this is not the 7 qurra, 7 qira'at. This is 7 ways of reciting words. 7 al-ahruf, غير القراءات السبع. Actually, even when Abu Bakr ibn Mujahid, he made al-qira'at al-sab'a, some of the scholars said, why are you confusing the people when you said al-qira'at al-sab'a? They're not the 7 letters. They told him, like, you shouldn't really do that. Why did you choose the 7 recitations to match the 7? That's why Ibn al-Jazr later on, he added 3. He made them al-qira'at al-ashr, 10 recitations. طيب. Also, the scholars had consensus that these 7 letters, Sab'at al-Ahruf, they are not to be contradicting one another from every angle. They've got different meaning, but they're not contradicting one another. And this ijma' or consensus being championed as well by Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, and he had detailed this issue in his Muqaddimah fi Usul al-Tafsir. Very good. Could go back to that book and read it. The 5th thing that also comes to our summarization to this, regarding the first saying, the first opinion regarding the meaning of Sab'at al-Ahruf, when we said there are different words. This is what the topic is as well here. When we said there are different words for one meaning, we call it synonyms, mutaradifa, okay, like aqbil wa ta'al wa halum. Some people had said that it's permissible for the person to bring a word which has the same meaning to replace the word in the Quran. That's absolutely wrong, unacceptable. Which we call it the qira'atu bil ma'na, to recite the Quran according to the meaning. No. For the hadith, yes, but not for the Quran. So Ibn al-Anbari, rahmatullahi alayhi, one of the Qurra Nahawiyin as well, Arabic recitation, he died in the year 304, which is the beginning of the 4th century. If that is correct, then we are able to recite instead of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Al-Thana'u lil-Bari, Malik al-Makhluqi. Instead of Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Al-Thana'u lil-Bari, Malik al-Makhluqi. Thana'u lil-Bari, Malik al-Makhluqin, this is not Quran. Even though it's similar meaning to it. But it's not Quran, it's not the words of Allah. And this is forging a lie against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself did not do that and is not allowed to do that. That's why Allah Azza wa Jalla, he said, فَإِذَا قَرَأْنَاهُ فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَ. Surah Al-Qiyamah. If we recite it upon you, then you have to follow. That means you have to follow what Jibreel tells you. You cannot do your own words, O Muhammad. فَاتَّبِعْ قُرْآنَ. Follow the Quran. Follow the recitation of Jibreel. For verily, if it was able for him to go and swap words, and he is the most eloquent. He says, أَنَا أُوتِيتُ جَوَامِعَ الْكَلِمِ. I've been given the best of words. If he was allowed to do, given the words of Basira, Sami'a, different meanings of it, he could have done it because he's most eloquent. But he asked Jibreel alayhi salam, give us another letter. Because Mikael tell him, ask him for another letter. That means another way of recitation. Give me another way to make it easy. لِلتَيْسِيرِ تَقْرَأُ مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْ. So if it was left for him, he would not ask Jibreel for another letter. He would do his own letters. And he would start doing his own because he's most eloquent. Nobody can be more eloquent than the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On the contrary, if there was a threat to the Prophet, and the Prophet, God forbid, will not do it. In Surah Al-Haqqa, verse 46, about 3-4 verses. ولو تقول علينا بعض الأقاويل لأخذنا منه باليمين ثم لقطعنا منه الوتين فما منكم من أحد عنه حاجزين. These are the verses in Surah Al-Haqqa. What does it mean? Allah says to the Prophet of Allah as a warning. And he says to the people that وَلَوْ تَقَوَّلَ عَلَيْنَا بَعْضَ الْأَقَاوِيلِ, if he used to say on us words which we did not say, to forge words in the Quran we did not say, لَقَطَعْنَا مِنْهُ الْوَتِينَ, we'd have killed him, cut off the artery vein, the life artery, we'd have killed him. So, and also قال لأخذنا منه باليمين, I would say لأخذنا منه, and that is we will seize him by the right, that means we'll punish him, and also we'll kill him. فما منكم من أحد عنه حاجزين. Nobody can stop the punishment which will be imposed by Allah onto him if he did that, and God forbid the Prophet of Allah would not do that. So if the Prophet can't do that, can we do that? To start saying the words of the Quran and the meanings? So the ones who are saying al-qira'at, these recitations are ijtihadat, just like basically the scholars had invented them. Okay, they don't know what is the Quran. They don't know how the Quran was revealed and has been conveyed to us, how they come to us. They don't know that. That is generation after generation. Jibreel alayhi salam taught it to the Prophet. Prophet of Allah taught it to the companions. Companions taught it to each other. And then from the companions to the ear of the followers, and so on and so forth, until you reach today. That's when the person got ijazah, he would say to him, I took the Quran from such and such sheikh, from such and such sheikh. You can never just come and sit down and read the Quran rules and tajweed and start and you say the Quran, I read something good. No, you have to say this recitation in front of a teacher who is linked to Jibreel alayhi salam, who's linked to the Almighty. He's got a link of chain of sheikh, the sheikh to the sheikh to the sheikh, until it reaches the Sahaba, then the Prophet, then Jibreel, then the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has to be like that. At-talaqqi. Very important to understand that those who believe that the Quran is only what is in the book, the Quran itself, and here this is called al-muyassar fil ard. Qira'at al-arba'ata ashar, this is the Quran. Okay, this is all the recitations which has been mentioned. Shadda, the one which is authentic and the one not authentic, is in this regarding the word. This Quran, okay, is not just pages. No, it's in the heart, the memory. That's why when Uthman radiallahu anhu wa ardah, as we're going to come to the story in the second session, when he burnt the Masahif and he sent the Masahif to the provinces, he sent the Mus'haf plus a reciter to teach the people how to recite the Quran. Very important issue to learn, to know. That is, that if the qira'at was an ijtihad from the scholars, so we might ask ourselves the following question. So why don't we have a new qira'at? Why did you stop with the 10 qira'at? We don't. Because the qira'at is not ijtihad. It's wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Talaqqi, from one reciter to another. Wahi. Also, we say that regarding what is being revealed from the Sahaba, in swapping a word instead of a word, most of it is not authentic, not to say all of it. And if there's an authentic one, it's to do with, that is, one of the ways which is permissible to recite. Like we said before, مَا عَمِلَتْ وَمَا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمَا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِيهِمْ. Yes. But all of those, like for example, they start with Anas. Anas radiallahu anhu. It was narrated from Al-A'mash that Anas, he was reciting in Surah Al-Muzammil, verse number 6, أَقْوَمُ قِيلَ. So he said, instead of أَقْوَمُ قِيلَ, he said أَصْوَبُ قِيلَ. He was told him, أَقْوَمُ يا أبا حمزة. This is kunya of Anas. يا أبا حمزة. أقوم, it's not أصوب. He said أقوم, أصوب, أهيأ, it's all of it the same. That is, which has been mentioned in Tafsir al-Tabari, by the way. It's not authentic. Yahya ibn Ma'in, the great scholar of Muhaddithin, he said that any narration from A'mash to Anas is mursalah. That means there's somebody there in the middle. Somebody who is not known. And the mursal is from the divisions of the categories of the hadith which is unauthentic. So this is unauthentic. Mursalun da'if. And the rest, which is mentioned by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud and others, unauthentic. This is in general, inshallah. طيب. Up to here, alhamdulillah, I'm just looking at the time. We're going to start, inshallah, after this, talking about the following. Not today, but the following. I'm just going to give you a glimpse. Following class is going to be, why is it that we don't have a narration for each letter on its own from those 7 letters? Why is it being narrated intertwined together? We're going to talk about that, inshallah. So we'll stop here. And please do not ask the questions which are to be narrated later on, because we're going to talk about the history of how the Sahaba and how Uthman radiallahu anhu gatherings, and we talked about Zayd ibn Thabit, and he was in the last recitation of the Prophet. We're going to talk about all of that, inshallah. But this is an introduction, bi-idhnillah. And I know that some of you thought maybe this class is above their level, but I had to go through it and simplify it as much as I can. وأسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن ينفعنا وإياكم. You've got only 6 minutes to ask questions, because you do have to do at the Maghrib, and Maghrib has already had kicked in about 15 minutes ago. So please, co-host, the question is only for the people from Reading. Jazakallah khairan. The people who are asking the questions, please, from Reading, Jazakumullah khairan. Only Reading, please.
Shaykhana. I don't have any questions yet, Shaykh, apart from Asadullah, who's queuing, and he's not from Reading.
Asadullah, are you from Reading?
He's not, Shaykh.
How do you know?
He's Asadullah Balushi, my friend from Medina.
No, hang on. Reading people, please. What are you, Reading? تفضل يا Rahim Reading. يلا يا Rahim. Let me just unmute you. Hang on a second. Hang on. Try to unmute yourself now, Ya Rahim. Or Rahim. Unmute yourself, please. Unmute yourself, Ya Rahim. تفضل. نعم. I can't hear a word you say. نعم. تفضل now. Read.
السلام عليكم.
Salam wa barakatuh. I could hear you. I can salam. Can you ask the question?
Regarding the
You forgot the question?
yeah, sorry.
Don't worry. Okay, inshallah.
Well, I'm just, for example, you've mentioned various dialects, if I got you right, the ways, different ways of recitation. So in instances where you have something like ard, like well ard, and some will say well
the dialect is to do with way of recitation. Like for example, Quraysh, they have different way of reciting than Hudayl. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud reciting the Hudayl tribe. Some of the recitation even, they are shadda, but I'm going to give you one. قد جعل ربك تحتك سرية. The kaf, instead of saying kaf, chi. تحتك ربك. That's like a dialect. Okay? Are you a person who is specialized in recitation, or you just Ya Rahim? Okay, Rahim is gone.
You need to unmute yourself, brother, so we can hear you, inshallah.
تفضل يا أسد. Inshallah he will learn. يلا تفضل يا أسد.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته شيخ.
السلام وبركاته. حيا الله بأسد. وين أنت؟ سعودي أرابيا or here؟
سعودي أرابيا شيخ. الحمد لله.
تفضل يا سعودي أرابيا.
جزاك الله خير شيخ. I had a question with regards to the introduction, Sheikh. Sheikh, I see a lot of people refuting this notion that has been brought about, but no one names the people that are saying this, or the youth. Is there any wisdom by us not naming them?
Naming the person sometimes backfire, especially if that will bring those people who do not know about the issue to go and be, searching. What does this person know? And basically, then start lingering to them. The best thing is to talk about the general topic. And as I said, even the lecture title was even towards that names and all of that. I said, no, it's not correct. This is not the right approach. We're not trying to bring here two teams and war between this and that. We're trying to clarify the mistakes. And as I said, the person had retreated from what he said. Inshallah, alhamdulillah, jazallah khairan. But maybe after we said, Kharab al-Basra. See, the problem is that everything that we say, especially if our celebrities are known, can be taken and will be taken and already has been taken as well by those who are Orientalists. Those people are deviant, which you agree with me, to go and, say things about the Quran. I could mention a name which has been outside the picture now completely. The person is called Wasim Yusuf, an Arab who is Jordanian, went to Emirate, and he took the nationality of Emirates. And by the way, when you take the nationality of an Arab country, you cannot take two. He was Jordanian, so he had to, what do you call that word? To get his pledge of loyalty to the Emirates and to set himself away from Jordan. So he stepped down from that nationality. And basically, he had sold his religion for the sake of money. And even when he became a pop star, he's deviated so much. And then he threw the bomb, which is saying that I believe in nothing to be authentic except for the Quran. Even Sahih al-Bukhari, I have my doubt about it. And that's when he had all the people refuting him. And this is, I would say, alhamdulillah, this is nusra min Allah lil Imam al-Bukhari. Allah gave him the victory. Allah gave the victory to Imam Bukhari, even he's dead. Because we are saying Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari. Any person goes into Bukhari, Bukhari will kill him. Even he's dead. And this man was killed. As in killed, as in not physically, but he was killed reputation-wise. Not only that, he is being humiliated in the government courts, and the people, even though those behind him, people who are highly ranked, but they've used him, it's like a card. When he's burnt the card, he's another card. But he's completely now out of the screen. Nothing for him. And even his family has been attacked because of that. Bullied because of that. Even his mother, poor mother, she's saying, send a message to him, I could see people swearing at you. Why, my son? Why? She doesn't know because she's an old woman. Right. And that is why my wisdom regarding this issue that I don't mention the name unless there is a need. There's a need I will mention. But if there's no need, alhamdulillah. It's enough, inshallah, for that.
Jazakumullah khair.
Jazak.
Unspoken. Go ahead, please, brother.
That's the last question, Ikhwani, because I am really tired. I need to do the prayer. Fadal.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Non-topic related question, is that all right?
No. It's only topic question.
Jazakallah. No problem.
Please. Anybody on the topic, please? Last question.
Go ahead, please, Muhammad, quickly.
Yalla, Muhammad.
Go ahead, Abdullah Ali, quickly, please, brother.
Sheikhna, some imams, they recite these different recitations, and some of them we don't even understand. What is the ruling on that?
The person who's reciting a different recitation, it depends the person who he is and where he is reciting. So if he's a person known to be a person who is memorizing recitation, well known to the people, no problem for him, because people will know. But if the person is not known, and he comes to a people who are, for example, got used to the recitation of Hafs and Asim, and he starts reading even just not Hafs, which is an Asim, he reads Shu'bah and Asim, same Asim, but Shu'bah. And he makes another recitation, that will be fitna, it's not allowed. That's not allowed. You're going to make the people say, like Umar al-Khattab wants to jump on Hisham ibn Hakim. Why? Because he was reciting something which he hasn't heard from the Prophet. Ya'kul, na'kul, tastati'un, yastati'un. What is this? He's changing. So if you're reciting on people and you're not known, and the people, they're not student of knowledge, that's not allowed. That's we call it, they want to have fame, basically. Especially if you start reciting a surah which is one of those short surahs. Okay? Like, for example, you say, Tabbat yada abi lahbi wa tab. And then, and also you say, وَامْرَأَتُهُ, as one of the verses, وَامْرَأَتُهُ, instead of حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ, which we know, you say, وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةُ الْحَطَبِ. You make the dhamma on the ta. Definitely there will be a person saying to you, Ya akhi, you made a mistake. Even somebody behind you, حَمَّالَةَ, حَمَّالَةَ. He will tell you, I mean, حَمَّالَةَ. So you have to be careful in doing this. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam wa subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Jazakumullahu khairan wa barakallahu fikum.